Greetings, everyone. This is Al Fadi, and I want to welcome you back to a continuation of our video series. This time, the attention has been put on whether the name Muhammad actually existed. When did it start? Is it a name or a title? And of course, we reach a conclusion so far that it is a title called Muhammad. Today, we are going to put it all together for you to summarize everything that we have discussed. With me here, of course, in studios, Dr. Jay Smith to do so. Welcome back, Dr. J.
So we're looking for this name Muhammad. I'm emphasizing the three vowels. We've taken off the three vowels because they just did not exist, not that early. Those three vowels were introduced into Arabic in the 8th and 9th century. We're in the 7th century. So without three vowels, what are you left with? Four consonants, mim, ha, mim, dal. And the mim, ha, mim, dal are the four consonants that we find all the way through not only the Arabic text, but also the Syriac text, and the Aramaic text, and the Hebrew text, and the Ugaritic texts. So highly, a very prized name that has been around since 1400 BC. We're now in the 7th century AD, so we should not be surprised. Now, Muslims will come at you and they'll say, we've seen Muhammad in this document, we've seen it in this document. We're going to get into some of those. The Doctrina Aevia Cobi, there's Muhammad, and I always say, no, it's not Muhammad, it's Muhammad. The writings of Sabaeus, there's Muhammad. The letters of Thomas the Presbyter, there's Muhammad. This flyleaf in 634, there's Muhammad. They keep on saying, there's Muhammad, there's Muhammad, Muhammad. And I have to keep on pulling them back and say, please, please, this is not Muhammad, it's Muhammad. Refer to Muhammad. Robert Hoylett does this all the time in his famous book written in 1999. Islam as others saw it, from others believe it. He always mistakenly put Muhammad there. Not very academic, because if you're being academic, you should write it as it's written on the text. And the text never said Muhammad in any of these texts. He put the vowels there so that it would be recognizable. And even that caused enough problems, because every time that name was found, it was found way up in Syria, or it's found way over in Gaza, or it's found up in Baghdad, or it's found in Tikrit and Mosul, way up too far to the north. That was problematic enough. But in every case, and we're going to get into that, we're going to show that in every case it was not Muhammad. So what we want to do is I want to just make a quick synopsis, looking at it and seeing what we're coming up with. We need to do this. This is going to be a short episode, just so people get it so people understand what we're saying. So let's go to the PowerPoint and let's look at the synopsis. The four letters, Muhammad, we now know because of John Damascus, it was pronounced Muhammad, means the praised one, or the blessed one, or the anointed one, which is the Messiah. And that becomes attributed later on. So it's a title, it's not a name. It was first used in Ugaritic in 1400 BC, then in Hebrew in 1000 BC, and found in the Bible 11 times. Song of Solomon is probably the most famous. Muslims like to point us to that. And I would say, yes, Muslims, you are pretty correct. That is Muhammad, but not Muhammad. Get and read it as it's written. For heaven's sake, stop imposing your 21st century view on that name. That's a top problem that all of us do. Robert Hoyland does it. I've done it. Mel, my friend, keeps on doing it. I have to keep on saying, take that slide and redo it again. It's not Muhammad, it's Muhammad. Keep it to Muhammad. The altogether lovely one in Song of Solomon 5:16. St. Ambrose was the one that really introduced it as the title for Jesus Christ, the Messiah. We see the Jews do it a little bit after that in the 6th century. Now, it could be earlier than that, but that's the earliest inscription that we have to go with, the earliest that we have on hand. And that's from way down in Yemen, written in Sabaeik as the Muhammad, the title for the exilarchs are then introduced in the 7th century. And we see that all the way up in Iraq, what is today Iraq, just south of Baghdad, in the town of Hira, what is today Kufa. So by the 7th century, the Christians use Muhammad to refer to the returning Messiah, while the Jews use Muhammad to refer to the Messiah yet to come. So both the Jews and the Christians were waiting for this Messiah, this Muhammad. So the term Muhammad was well known, that's all I want to say today, was well known in that part of the world and at that time. But it was not pronounced Muhammad. Stop doing that. That is how we pronounce it today. And there lies the confusion. what I want to do next now is I want to look at the coins. Start with the coins, then I'll go to the inscriptions, and then I'll go to all the references to Muhammad in the 7th century. And I'm going to show you in every case, none of them fit Muhammad that we know today of Islam. In every case, they fit Jesus Christ. Once you get it back to the title where it should be, once you put it where it should be and stick it in the time place and use the language that was used at that time, Jesus comes through in every time. Okay, that's my claim. So we're going to prove that. So bear with me. That's next. And we're going to start with the coins.
Wonderful. Thank you, brother. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is Al Fadi. God bless. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And ring the bell so you will be notified when we release new content. Our mission is to reach Muslims with the gospel of Jesus Christ and help Christians engage with their Muslim neighbors. If you want to join us in this life-changing work, please support us on patreon.com/Sira International or just click on the link below.